Welcome to this ABMA.Global demonstration. Thank you for taking time to watch. Before we begin, it's always good to talk about the premise of what we're trying to do here. Colleges today are graduating larger and larger numbers of learners who are leaving the colleges to go on to work or further study. And when they do this, they're representing your centre wherever they go, be it into professional business or university education. Now, you might have a centre with an excellent reputation for employability, generally speaking, but I can tell you now, the feeling from employers is increasingly people are entering the employment market and they are unable to do the job. Yes, they might understand different grades of business, but they actually have no idea what it's like to be in a professional environment, write professional emails, understand themselves, how to communicate through different teams, and also how to deal with certain aspects of conflict. Interviews as well are becoming quite disappointing exercises for employers who are taking the time to design the sort of job roles that they want, but getting a very typical sort of a person who's a little bit unable to convey their knowledge and impress onto the employer what they're capable of doing. We're presenting to you here is not just a way for your learners to learn some extra skills, it's actually a way to advance your reputation as a provider of talent with employers. It's a way for you to increase your revenue from graduating learners, people that you just simply wave goodbye to after they've finished studying whatever course that they're doing. And it's also a way to show governments and accreditation bodies, your key stakeholders, your institution is a champion of learner prospects, and you don't simply decide to end your responsibility for their welfare and their advancement as soon as their final exams are finished, whether they pass or they fail those examinations. So what I want you to get a sense of here is that every centre should want to attach a bit of a string to every learner leaving their college or their university or their educational institution, to engage them in the future services you might have, to track their progress, and also create a bit of a community feel about the centre. And this system that I'm going to show you today will help you do that in a way that doesn't take up any of your time, doesn't take up any of your resources or your finances, and in actual fact can give you the opportunity of generating extra revenue in a segment of your learner cohort that you haven't seen before. So I want you to keep that in the front of your mind. It's a whole new segment to target, and it's about turning your graduating learners into the champions of your centre as they head out into these workplaces. So I want you to imagine at the moment that you are one of your students and you're accessing the system here. So one of the things that you'll immediately notice is this welcome message. So that is introducing the student directly to the system. You've got your subscriptions up here, and you've got your direct messages and your notification. So already we're giving you a way to communicate with learners that you've never had before. This is directly into their inboxes. They get an email notification when they've got a message. So imagine now you have the reach to be able to drop something in front of these exiting learners. Promote, say, a new course. You're undertaking a course in positive wellbeing in the workplace. You want to tell them that's now available. You have a captured market, and it's a market that you can put things in front of to get them to turn around and come back to your centre for extra services, extra things. So already we're doing that just with how the system is set up here. I'm going to click on the actual course now. So this is Essential Business Skills. So you'll see here that we've actually taken all the introduction administration off your hands. The system actually tells the learners what to do, and where there are technical issues, it's up to us to solve them. We're there to support you every step of the way. But the system itself is doing all the work for you. So you should really be now drawing a link between just how easy it is to facilitate this against the opportunity for the education institution to draw in extra revenue. All you would have to do really is capture all the emails and names on the spreadsheet and send them directly to us for onboarding by email. And we will do everything else for you. And indeed the system will. Let's look at a module here. We're going to pick teamwork. Now, teamwork is a buzzword that is probably mentioned in just about every interview. Almost every student, prospective employee will say, yes, they are a good team worker to the question. This system is fully SCORM compliant and encapsulates all the latest in e-learning methodologies and presentation of content. So this is one module of Essential Business Skills. Now, there are 16 different modules. This is pretty much bang in the middle of that. So the module begins with a short video. introduces what the learner will be taking on board throughout the module itself. The actual content, as you can see, set up to be very aesthetically pleasing. The presentation slides are done in a way to enhance the text so that it works across mobile, it works across every device, and that the learning stands out. So even as learners are actually just reading content, it's sinking in. We have separated the course into discussions and activities. And you can see here that there are various moments of reflection. Reflection is a very important skill when it comes to business. Essential Business Skills as a course is not a course that just teaches you the skills, gives you a certificate, and then leaves you get on with it. It will give you the skills to reflect, the skills to develop personally as learners progress through their careers as well. So there are various different moments throughout the course where you can spend time reflecting on the content itself. There is a recommended time, about 32 hours, but obviously everybody is different. Everyone learns at different paces. And of course, it's not only about that, it's also about engaging content. And we have embedded videos here. And the reason they're embedded is obviously to slow down on the use of data. This course is being undertaken by people using mobile, people using a whole range of different devices, and people either connected to Wi-Fi or not. A lot of different options for undertaking the course. When you log in, the system will remember where you are. So as soon as you actually log in from whatever device you want to use, the system will know where you're up to. Now, we have various different elements and tasks that are included in Essential Business Skills that help embed the content. So it's not just a lecture that you're learning word for word and you have to remember everything. We'll actually give you tools as well. You can see here that we have a download button, and that download button will give you resources that you can download and take into your learning or your working life. Templates that might be useful in a time management setting, different theories, different concepts and ideas that you may be able to complete at various different points, depending on what activity you're engaged in your career. You'll be able to master these as you progress. Videos come up at various different junctures, and we have activities that come up as and when alongside knowledge checks. Now, the knowledge checks are there to ensure that the content is engaged with. Now, this helps from a compliance point of view. It gives you data to prove that learners are undertaking the work as they should be doing and that they're progressing. So what you can do is you can look at various aspects, perhaps where the marks are not quite as good, and understand that this is an area of concern for employers, and addressing these in your everyday college development and your everyday college courses that you run will also help align you better with what employers are expecting in the workplace. These are all remembered on the back end, and you would have access to that data just to see how learners are doing as well. Now, we talked about teamwork and teamwork being probably a word and a term that everyone's familiar with, but any learner will say, or any prospective employee will say in an interview setting, they're a good teamwork. An Essential Business Skills course graduate will be able to say, yeah, I'm a good team worker. I know I'm a good team worker because I understand the role of positive conflict. I understand there are various different roles that make a successful team, and I understand how to build those teams up. I understand barriers to success, and I understand also how to turn those barriers into positives. So an Essential Business Skills graduate will not just be able to say that they are good at these buzzwords that come up here and there. They'll actually be able, through an interview stage, express themselves in a far more confident and capable manner, demonstrating a lot of new capabilities and also show how talented they are. Now, there'll be a direct link between the performance that learner gives in that interview and your college. Because don't forget, the learner's left your college, but you haven't waved goodbye to them like you would have done ordinarily. You're still very much actively involved in their development. And that's very, very important from a compliance point of view, a regulation point of view, and also moving forwards, given that employers these days are far more expecting of learner abilities when they come through to employment. You'll be able to demonstrate that you're taking your responsibility seriously. These knowledge checks that you're viewing now will keep coming up, and we also have a range of activities. Some of these activities will take learners to external tools. They'll be able to draw on additional resources, and they'll be able to practice their reflection and their development techniques as well. So that's an example of a module on essential business skills, and also a breakdown of how easy it is to understand that your learners can enroll on a course very easily without any heavy resource or any extra cost. And we are on hand to support all of your learners in getting licenses to accessing essential business skills at the same time. Okay, so as you can see, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Get in touch with us, info@abmaskills.com, or any of the other information you see popping up. We'll begin turning your graduates into highly successful and talented employees.